Hey guys, Jonathan here from BroJMR Productions, and today we're going to be looking at a French film. Blue is the warmest color. It's also known as La Vie d'Adèle Chapters 1 and 2. Um, this was a film that was made last year, won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, won a lot of accolades from Toronto International Film Festival, New York Film Festival. It was kind of a festival darling. It garnered a lot of praise. Everybody loved it. Everybody said great things about it, and then it started to get releases to the public, and critics had a lot of negative things to say about it. But this is a French film, so that has to be taken into account surrounding the controversy. The main controversy of this film was, for some reason people complained about the runtime. It's almost 3 hours long, but it doesn't feel like it when you watch it. But the main thing was the sex scenes in this movie. That's where all the controversy came from, because they were shot in such a realistic sense, and because it was French, they didn't pull any punches with it. And yes, after watching it, the sex scenes are explicit and they are very realistic, and they're shot in quite an unusual sense, in the sense that there's a lot of very different angles that you would normally see, some pretty intense close-ups, but I don't know, it didn't bother me all that much. I didn't think that they were overdone or anything, so, well, it's just critics. Critics are stupid. They suck most of the time. And yes, I realize I'm saying that as I'm doing a movie review that I'm going to be putting on the internet for everyone to see, making me an unofficial movie critic, but, well, me and my brother are the only good ones. Everybody else sucks. So anyway, on to the movie. This is a movie that I've been looking forward to for about a year now. I saw a trailer for it early last year before it went to Cannes, and something about the trailer really intrigued me. And unfortunately, it did not get a major US theater release. It traveled around on a couple of the festivals here in the US, but it never got a major release, so I didn't get a chance to see it. I read a couple months ago that it was finally going to be released, and I have been looking forward to it ever since. And it came out yesterday. I went and bought it yesterday, which was a struggle in itself, because it is a Criterion release, and it's a French release, so it was a little bit difficult to find. But I was able to find it, picked it up, watched it today, and it was worth the wait. I was not disappointed in the least. I thought it was an amazing film. Truly, truly amazing. Well directed, well written, incredibly well acted, which I'm going to talk about the two stars here in a minute. I mean, both of them just blew me away. But it is, in many ways, a coming-of-age story. But it's done a little bit non-traditionally in the sense that the main crux of the idea of the coming-of-age story was this character's sexual awakening in a lot of ways, and just her wanting to fill an emptiness that she had inside her, which she tried to fill with. In the beginning, she tried to fill it with sex and realized that may have been the answer, but it was just the wrong gender. Yes, this is a lesbian love story, I guess you could say, although again, it's only slightly a love story. And it's told through the main character, Adele, who is played by, and I have a feeling that I might butcher this last name a little bit. I'm sorry. Name is Adele Exarchopoulos. Exarchopoulos, maybe, I'm not sure, um, she is just lovely. Besides being just absolutely beautiful, she did an amazing job at portraying this character. Um, Very much in a quiet, reserved way. She's kind of shy, kind of aloof, almost seems mysterious, but at the same time, when she starts talking, she's really not. She's just quiet. She's shy. And the movie starts off with her in high school. She's character seems somewhat popular, but not really. Has a decent amount of friends, but seems bored. That's the best way I can think. She seems bored and lonely. And she starts dating somebody, and they end up having sex, and then they end up breaking up because it's just not right. Um, and she gets a one-time kiss from one of her classmates who's a girl, and starts to become confused and slightly obsessed. And mostly becomes obsessed with finding this random girl that she saw on the street one day. She finally sees her in a club, and they get to talking, and after that it's kind of the story of the two of them getting to know each other and falling in love. And the other character is Emma, played by Lea Seydoux, who I personally loved in *Inglourious Basterds*. She was in that, and she was amazing in it. It's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to see this movie, was because I had her in it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she was so good in *Inglourious Basterds*. After that, it kind of almost becomes a bit of a typical love story, but the twist in that part is that Adele's character seems almost not embarrassed that she is in a relationship with another girl, but she doesn't want to tell her family. She's reluctant to tell her friends, but at the same time, once the two of them are together and hanging around Emma's friends, then it's very different. You know, Lea Seydoux' character Emma is an artist, and so most of the time Emma spent hanging around her artist friends, and where they can be themselves. And it goes through all the turbulence of a real relationship, you know, the boredom, the fights, and finally it gets to a point where Adele is caught cheating on her, and they break up. And after that, the story kind of turns again. They call this chapters 1 and 2. They call it, you know, the French title for this was La Vie d'Adèle, which is the life of Adele, chapters 1 and 2. But really, this movie is three chapters with another half at the end, in my opinion. There was the before she meets Emma, during her time with Emma, after she meets Emma, and then the very, very end of the movie, which I will be discussing here in a few minutes. After they break up, it just seems to be... After Emma and Adele break up, it completely focuses on Adele and her just trying to get by. And it's heartbreaking. It truly is. The breakup scene between them is one of the most intense scenes that I've seen in quite a while in a movie. And realistic. That was the big thing. That was the main thing that I noticed throughout this whole movie, was that it's almost like the director told Adele and Leia, I don't want you to act, I want you to be real. They portrayed this so real life, so realistic, that it almost seems voyeuristic in a lot of ways. And after they break up, she is just so incredibly depressed. And it's just her trying to get by. You know, she sees Emma a couple of times, and we get to the end of the movie where Emma finally gets an art show. Adele goes to see her at this art show and say hi. Adele is with her other lover at the time, and Adele ends up just leaving. And it was a scene that I wasn't sure how much I liked it, and as I sat and thought about it more, it was the very last line of the movie that kind of did it for me. As she's leaving, she tells one of the other people that's in the art show, "It was great." And that seemed to be kind of closing the book on that chapter of her life, saying, yes, what I had with her was great. Was great. That's the main thing. It's like she finally gained some acceptance of it's over. And it was kind of a difficult ending because it's something that we're not used to seeing. As Americans, when we see a love story, we're used to them, everybody's happy at the end, everybody's getting together, everybody's getting back together. It doesn't happen here. They don't get back together. So it seems like an unhappy ending, but at the same time, she walks away from that art show with a purpose. You know, she walks away saying, I'm finally over this. I'm finally done. I can move on. And that was the most important part. You know, this is very much a story about the true trials and pitfalls of falling in love. It just happens to be told from the viewpoint of two women instead of a man and woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. It was great. It was truly great. You know, but it was told with such sincerity that it really makes you feel for the characters. It really makes you relate to the story that's going on. And that's life, you know. Love doesn't always work, and you have to get to a point where you've just accepted that it's over. And you can say, okay, I'm done. You know, I'm going to move on. There was a great line earlier in the movie. They're at a club. Well, Adele's character is at a club. It's where she actually gets the chance to meet Emma for the very first time. Not just see her, but actually meet her. And she's talking with one of the other patrons there, and it's a gay club. And he looks at her and says, love has no gender. Do what makes you happy. And that was basically the whole theme of the movie. You know? But I think another big part of it is learning to accept who you are and be happy with yourself. Because throughout almost the entire movie, Adele is hiding that she's in this relationship. She's hiding it from her friends. She's hiding it from her family. Apparently there was a deleted scene, there was a cut scene that is not on here. There's actually there's no special features on here at all, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I guess there was a scene that they shot but decided to cut out where Adele's family catches her with Emma in the house and kicks her out, which would actually explain a couple of things. It would give a little bit better explanation. I kind of wish they had left it in because it would have been nice to see. It kind of explains why you never see your family again after a certain point in the movie. But again, that was a realistic approach to it. People aren't accepting of this kind of, people still aren't accepting of this kind of relationship, and that makes me very sad that they're not. But anyway, this is a very good movie. I highly recommend it to people. Parts of it are a little bit difficult to get through. Like I said, parts of it are very explicit. Incredibly explicit. And it's a little bit long, but it is a great movie. I was not disappointed at all. If you can find it, I would say check it out. But because it is a French film, and because they only put it out in Criterion, it's going to be difficult to find. I would be surprised if you're ever going to find anywhere to rent it, and I would be if you're looking to buy it, you're going to have to do some searching for it. If it does intrigue you, I can tell you that you're going to be able to find it at Barnes & Noble. I can tell you that. You're going to be paying for it, but you're going to be able to find it there, because they carry Criterions. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. I'm not totally sure what I'm going to be doing next, but we'll see whenever it becomes that time. So I'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye.